I began this program back now. We're in our 13th, almost 14th year, because as all of us know, the mainstream U.S. media has begun to close bureaus, and because of budget cutbacks and changes in the profession, it's a lot more difficult for journalists to find opportunities to cover international news. So we began this program and have spent close to $15 million over the last 13 years or so, sending more than 330 U.S. journalists to more than 90 different countries around the world. We began with giving grants to individual reporters who have traveled, again, more than 90 countries. But after a few years of those intensive 5-week reporting grants, we realized that we needed to do something more, and that was to enable the editors, the people that we come to call the gatekeepers, the people who actually make the day-to-day, week-to-week decisions about what gets into print, what gets on the air, what gets online, to give the editors a chance to get out of those newsrooms and to see for themselves, again, the importance of international affairs. So we began what we call the Gatekeepers Program. It's an intensive sort of boot camp expedition style. We try to exhaust them to almost to the point of exhaustion, but not work them too hard. A 2-week introduction to a country. We do this twice a year now. We have far more applications than we can possibly accept. And we just got back less than 2 months ago from our latest trip, which was to Liberia. We can ask, why Liberia? Well, actually, from the beginning, our program has always had a strong focus on Africa. Of our individual reporting fellows, more than 1/3 of them have reported from Africa. We focus on Africa because we feel that's probably the most undercovered and most neglected part of the world as the U.S. media wind down their coverage of the world. And 6 of the 14 gatekeeper trips that we've organized have been to the African continent. And we're about to announce our next trip for this spring. Probably next week we'll announce it. We'll do 2 this year, and almost certainly one of those will be, again, to an African country. The journalists that we select for these trips come from a wide range of news organizations. You have several of them here, but we took 11 different journalists, and the total reach of their audiences is millions. We have people from the NPR, from PBS, from Washington Post, and they're becoming very productive. The original motivation of the trip was just to give the editors a sense of the issues so that when they come back, they better understand what's going on in those countries, and then they can direct the coverage by their staffs. Well, as those staffs who get opportunities to go overseas diminish, increasingly the gatekeepers are themselves using these trips to do reporting. So if you check our website right now, you will probably see more information about Liberia and more reporting on Liberia than there has been in years. They've been very prolific and in all media. One of our panelists, Suni Khaled, is currently doing a 5-part series on Liberia on his radio station, and he has to get back tonight to finish the last piece for that one. So what can we do in 2 weeks? 2 weeks is not 2 months, it's not 2 years, it's not a full-time bureau in a country, but it's better than nothing. And so we try to organize a trip where they get a sense as much as possible of all the major issues that are taking place. And Louise Leaf, who's the deputy director of our program, did a great job, I think, in putting together a comprehensive program. So during their 2 weeks, we met with President Sirleaf. We met with members of her cabinet. We met with politicians in all parties. We met with many former combatants from Liberia's 14 years of war. We met with women activists. We met with students from all levels, college, elementary schools, high schools. We met with many media and journalists. We met with law enforcement officials, police. We met with the UN commander in the country and some of her troops. We went to the countryside. We went up country to Banga and Ganta. We met with rural chiefs, villagers, health officials, environmental activists, business leaders in Monrovia and in other towns, with NGOs, both Liberian and foreign, with humanitarian groups, with diplomats, with religious leaders. It was a wide assortment of people and a very busy experience. So what you're going to get today is just a snippet from several of them of what we spent our time doing. And if you want to see complete reports, come to our site, internationalreportingproject.org, or go to their sites where their stories are also displayed.